just giving you a little explanation of this pre-session document. We're going to continue our conversation about children's development and how it affects our work with them that we just started back in August and July. But for those of you who were not there, that's okay. You can do this also. There was no information given in those sessions that's required for you to understand how to do this particular pre session document. So, in the document, you'll just, type in a child's name. Let's see, I'll use my grandson's name, Jackson. And when I look across here at the things from the natural world, I think of him as a nighttime person. So I might put an X there. I definitely think of him as somebody who loves the moon and stars, and he kind of feels more like this time of day to me than the sunny, cheery time of day, the wide awake. He's much more quiet and reflective and inward. Um, if I described him as an animal, I'd probably describe him as a baby bird. He's very fragile and quiet, and but very bright and capable of flying. I can't really think of a plant or weather associated with him or anything about the sky and the sun, so I would leave it there. And then I would go on to the next child. So basically, you fill in the sections that make sense to help you think about that child and what kind of qualities they have. There's no right or wrong. This is just a reflection activity for you, and then you'll bring this to the session. And so I gave you a lot of room in case you have a lot of children. You may not need all that room. And then we're going to be talking about filling cups this session, the cup of safety, mastery, freedom, connection, and fun. So we're going to look at these areas where children are trying to meet their needs or fill up their cups. So just make a note throughout the week of when you see children in your group. Don't name them. You can just put, actually, you can just put examples of when you see children trying to meet their safety needs, trying to meet their need to feel mastery over something, accomplishing or learning how to do something themselves. And where you see them trying to feel free and having independence and making choices and decisions for themselves, where you see them trying to make connections with, whether it's with materials or you or other kids or anything, and then their need to feel joy, fun. Where do you see them trying to meet that need? And then here are some activities from Piaget's theory of cognitive development and play. So we hear a lot talked about play being, important, and that you're a play-based center and so on. So here are some areas that are pretty essential to play. There's transportation, how you move yourself through space and with other people. Ordering and position. So how do you put things in place? How do you order them and make sense of them and sequence them? Transforming. How do things change in place, but also change things through your actions on them? He calls it rotation. Basically, the child's need or ability to move things around mentally and change of placement or perspective. So certainly peekaboo is an example of that. Going through a boundary, so going through something, going around something, and closing, so they're putting walls around something. They're making a boundary. Vertical and horizontal movement, making connections, and deconstruction, taking things apart. So those are some of the big activities cognitively and actually physically, of course, because with young children, physical and cognitive are not separate. They're the same. They're not like us. They cannot separate their thoughts from their movement yet. So just be looking for examples of that. Be aware of it. You don't have to write everything down here, but try to be more aware of all of these things this week, and just take the time. If you write the child's name here, just put their first name, and you're not going to turn this in. So it's, of course, it would be kept private and confidential. I wouldn't know the child's name, and you wouldn't share any confidential information about the child here. All right, I hope you enjoy doing this and it doesn't become homework. If it starts to feel like homework, put it away for a while. Come back to it the next day. And then we're going to talk about it in our session on Friday. I can't wait to see you all again and hear about how things are going. And thank goodness it's Friday and the weather is beautiful. Okay, bye-bye.